Hi everyone, so today I wanted to do a quick video on how to tune a snare drum. I've got my Ludwig Acrolite snare here with an old drum skin on. You can see there's a patch worn in the middle. Brand new one arrived in the post earlier today, very exciting. So I'm going to do a quick demonstration of how to change the skin over and how to tune it up afterwards. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the old skin, and for that I will need a drum key. So I'm going to undo all these tension rods around the edge, take the skin off. So I've now undone all the tension rods, so I can pull the rim straight off the drum. There we go, pop that down there. Then the skin comes off. You can see this is quite old. This is the one that came with the drum actually. It's a Ludwig one. I quite like it, but it is now slightly bowl shaped, so it has taken a beating. So at this point, it's a good idea to get a cloth and wipe around the top of this shell here. So I'm going to grab my cloth, it's over there. Here it is. Then we take our new drum skin, and it's a personal habit of mine, but I always put the logo next to the snare strainer lever. Just makes it easy to find. Then we put the rim back on top. And then we're going to start the tuning process. So think of this in 3 stages. So stage 1, we're going to be tightening up the tension rods to what's called finger tight. And that's basically just where the tension rod's gone into the lug, and you're spinning it around until the point where the top of it is just touching the rim, and then you leave it there and then do all the rest of them. I'm going to go around and do them all now. There we go, so I'm just checking that none of them are loose, they're all up to finger tight, which is good. Now if I play it now, it's going to sound terrible. The skin's so slack, and really if you play that for too long, you can do some damage to the skin when it's that slack. You could dent it, so make sure it's tightened up a little bit. So stage 2, with a drum key, I'm going to go around and I'm going to bring the skin up to the sort of tension that I want it to be. And when I'm doing this, I'm going to make sure that I'm tuning opposite. So if I start here on this side, I'm going to do a whole turn, and then I go straight opposite and do another whole turn here. And then, so I've done 2 opposites. Imagine there's a point in the center of the drum. If I tighten this one, it's going to pull the point over this way. So I want to counter that by tightening the other one to pull it back into the middle again. And I'm going to move around the drum in opposites like that. So I'll speed the time up again while I do that. Now I've done a full turn on each of the tension rods, and still sounding very low pitch, so it's not nearly high enough yet. So I'm going to go around again, maybe do a couple of turns on each this time. Right, that's brought it up to a decent tension now. If I play it, it's starting to sound more like a snare drum. There's a bit more work to do though. So the 3rd stage, this is where musicianship comes into it a bit more. We need to balance the pitch next to each of the tension rods here, because we'll probably find that some of them are different pitches. And the way I've always done this, I put a finger lightly in the middle of the drum, and I'm going to tap round with the stick next to each tension rod, and you're listening out for different notes. So over here we can hear a difference between the tuning in this area and this area, so we need to balance that off, and we do that by working out which is higher or lower, and then deciding which way we want to go. So to me, this one is sounding higher pitch than this one, so I want to bring the lower pitch tension rod up to meet the higher pitch one. So I'm just going to give this a tiny bit of a turn, and I'm also going to do a bit on the opposite side as well to try and keep the balance there. And then between every tune, press down with the palm, and that makes sure the head's seated properly all the way around. So I'm going to go around and try and balance as many of these as I can now. So there we go. I've been around and tuned all the tension rods so that all the pitches are equal next to each one. And we have a nice clean sound. So if you want to take this a bit further, you can actually think about tuning the drum to a specific pitch. Now I know from experience that this drum tends to work quite well when it's tuned to an A. In fact, I had a client the other day who actually requested tuning it to A as the main note. So if you're not sure, you can get a tuning fork, or I use a little app on my phone which just got a piano keyboard. So play an A. So I'm making sure that that is the same pitch. It's always going to drift slightly, so the more I play this drum, the chances are the tuning is going to go down, and then I'll have to constantly adjust. But it's a good starting point. So have a go, see how you get on, and happy drumming.